Welcome back to the 25 Days of Christmas. My name is Shane Reinert, and today's story is The Goodest Gift. The great acts of love are done by those who are habitually performing small acts of kindness. Anonymous. Every December, as I take out the Christmas decorations, I also take out the memory of a Christmas 20 years ago in a small town in central Maine and the gift that one little girl gave to another. It was in a world where Christmas is even more glittery and commercialized, it reminds me that the true spirit of the season lies in giving and receiving from the heart. Winter seemed to be colder back then, and school days dragged slowly by. At my small school, we had 2 classes for each grade. My class was for the children who got good grades. Most of us wore nice clothes, and our parents were in the PTA. Those in the slower class didn't get good grades. Most of the kids were poor. We attended the same school year after year, and by the 4th grade, we all knew who belonged in each class. The exception was a girl I shall call Marlene Crocker. I still remember the day when Marlene was transferred to the smarter class. She stood by the teacher's desk that morning in a wool skirt that hung down below her knees. Her sweater was patched, but her face was wide and hopeful. She was not at all pretty except for intelligent-looking brown eyes. I heard that Marlene was a good student, though I had wondered why she hadn't been in the smarter class all along. As she stood waiting for the teacher to assign her a seat, for a moment I imagined I might become her friend and we would talk together at recess. Then the whispers began. "She's not sitting beside me," someone sneered. "That will be enough," the teacher said firmly, and the class turned silent. No one would laugh at Marlene again, at least not when the teacher was in the room. Marlene and I never talked together at recess as I'd first imagined. The boundaries that separate us were too firmly drawn. One late autumn day, Mom and I happened to be out driving along a back wooded road. It was one we seldom used because Mom said it wasted gas. I was busy chattering away when suddenly, out the window, I saw a tar paper shack so tiny it would have fit inside our bathroom. The shack was set far back in a big field littered with rusted car parts. Along the yard stretched a long clothesline, beneath which stood a little girl who looked at us as we sped past. It was Marlene! I raised my hand to wave, but our car had already passed her. "That poor little girl," my mother said, "hanging out clothes and it's going to rain." Once the snow came that winter, it seemed as though it would never stop. As Christmas drew near, my spirits were as high as the snowdrifts as I watched the pile of presents grow beneath our Christmas tree. At school, a few days before our school party, we passed around a hat in class to give the name of a classmate for whom we'd buy a gift. The hat went around and the names were drawn. Finally, the hat came to Marlene. One boy leaned forward closer than anyone had ever been to Marlene and hooted as he read her slip of paper. "Marlene's got Jenna's name." I began to blush furiously as I heard my name. Marlene looked down at her desk, but the teasing went on until the teacher stopped it. "I don't care," I vowed hauntingly, but I felt cheated. The day of the party, I marched to the bus reluctantly, carrying a nice gift of magic markers for the person whose name I had drawn. At school, we ate Christmas cookies our mothers had baked and drank grape drink. Then the presents were handed out, and the wrapping paper went flying as everyone tore into them. The moment I had been dreading had arrived. Suddenly, it seemed as though everyone was crowding around. Sitting on my desk was a small package wrapped neatly in tissue paper. I looked around and saw Marlene. She was sitting alone. Suddenly, overcome by my need to protect Marlene from the mocking of my classmates, I seized Marlene's gift, unwrapped it, and sat there, holding it in my hand. "What is it?" a boy hollered when he could stand it no more. "It's a wallet," I answered. The bell rang and the buses came, and someone said to Marlene, "Did your old man make it from the deer he shot?" Marlene nodded and said, "And my ma." "Thank you, Marlene," I said. "You're welcome," she said. We smiled at each other. Marlene was not my friend, but I never teased her. Maybe when I got bigger, I would ride my bike over there, and we could talk and play. I thought about this as I rode the bus home. I tried not to think of what Marlene's Christmas would be like. Years went by. I went to high school and college, and lost contact with most of my childhood schoolmates. Whenever I struggled with math problems, I recalled the way Marlene had always breezed through hers. I heard rumors that Marlene had dropped out of school to help her mother with the younger children at home. Then I heard that she had married young and was having babies of her own. One day I came across the white doeskin wallet I had received at the Christmas party long ago. Funny how of all the gifts, I'd kept this one through all the years. I took it out and I studied its intricate craftsmanship. Beneath the top flap, I noticed a small slit holding a tiny piece of paper that I had never seen before. Sitting in my comfortable home, I read the words that Marlene had written to me years before. "To my best friend," they said. Those words pierced my heart. I wished I could go back, to have the courage to be the kind of friend I wanted to be. Belatedly, I understood the love that had been wrapped inside the gift. There are a few things that I unpack every year at Christmas time: an old wooden crutch, shiny balls for the tree, and a Santa figurine. I take out the wallet too. Last year, I told my small son of the story of the girl who had given it to me. When he thought about it, and then he said, "Of all the gifts, this was the goodest, wasn't it?" I smiled, grateful for the wisdom to let him see that it was. Jenna Day, submitted by Patricia Bradford. Thank you for tuning in. Please keep coming back to the 25 Days of Christmas. I'm Shane Reinert.